hidden.
I think it's pretty clear that Regular Show is one of the best animated shows in history. Rewatching it as an adult really brings all the characters and creativity to life. And even though I really resonate with the characters in the show, there's one major thing I remember differently from when I was a kid, and that's Mordecai and Rigby's relationship. Mainly Mordecai and how shit of a friend he was. When I was a kid, I thought these two were the greatest set of friends ever. But growing up to an adulthood, I realized that Rigby was just a good friend and Mordecai sucked. Now, what made Mordecai irredeemable in my eyes? Well, there was many times he just belittled Rigby and took Rigby's friendship for granted, but the thing that pissed me off the most about Mordecai was how many times he took advantage of Rigby. Mordecai would often manipulate Rigby and force him to do things he didn't want to do, and a good example of this is whenever they play punchies. Obviously, Mordecai knows he's physically stronger than Rigby. Almost everybody is physically stronger than Rigby, even fucking Pops and Benson. Now, Mordecai takes advantage of this to get player one. Now, Rigby has had enough. After years and years of losing to everybody in punchies, he's decided to say, fuck it, I'm gonna train and become the next champ in punchies, which is exactly what he does. He goes to Dagestan for 2-3 months, trains with bears and shit, and comes back with a super duper Taekwondo punch. Before Rigby can try out his new moves, Mordecai catches wind of this, and he too decides to go to Dagestan for 2-3 months to train. So Mordecai goes to Dagestan, learns the death block which can counter the death punch, and decides to return for the ultimate showdown. Rigby, the master of the death punch, and Mordecai, the master of the death block. Now, in typical Regular Show fashion, Mordecai and Rigby's death punch cancel out one another. So basically they get into the super duper brawl where each keep punching each other and blocking each other until they reach the molten hot core of the earth. So they get to the core of the earth. Mordecai's like, holy shit bro, we're about to die. But Rigby refuses to give up because he hasn't won a single match against Mordecai. So they keep punching each other until they're literally about to fucking put a hole through the earth. But just before they're about to die, Mordecai has flashbacks of all the times he wronged Rigby, how he manipulated Rigby, how he used his strength as advantage to bully and push Rigby around, and this really hit Mordecai in the spot. After seeing the pain on his friend's face and how he was really affecting him, Mordecai let him win. Now you could say, oh okay, Mordecai let him win. Yeah, after fucking years and years of mistreatment, fucking manipulating, punching him around, fuck you, fuck you. Rigby would rather be burnt alive by lava than let Mordecai win another game of punchies. If you think this is the worst case of Mordecai being a bad friend, let me just tell you this is just the cherry on top of the cake. Mordecai has often literally just pushed Rigby aside for Margaret. And not just Margaret, for CJ too. Anytime a love interest would pop up in Mordecai's life, suddenly she would be the most important thing in his life, and Rigby would be second fiddle. And if you thought that was bad, Mordecai would often have Rigby cover for him at work so he can hang out with CJ. Even though Rigby was reluctant, he still agrees because he's a good friend. But of course, in typical Mordecai fashion, he takes advantage of this and has Rigby do all the work. Mordecai keeps on doing this over and over again, just taking advantage of his best friend's kindness. We then cut to a park meeting where Benson is handing out everyone's assignments, and Benson tells Mordecai that he needs him to help Rigby change the light bulbs, which Rigby says he can do it on his own. Rigby is then laughed at by everybody, and told without Mordecai, he's useless. Rigby looking up at his best friend to back him up, and Mordecai says this.
You're basically the opposite of useful pretty much anytime we do anything.
But then, after Rigby has been covering for his best friend for over a week and brings it up, he says this.
Well, I mean, it's the least you could do.
You entitled piece of shit. Yo bro, I deadass would hit him. Rigby ends up quitting his job at the park after this and ends up getting a job at a moving company where you have to lift everything with your back. Even though Rigby hates the job, he's sticking through it to get his first paycheck. Literally just to prove to Mordecai and his coworkers that he is in fact useful. At the end of the episode, Rigby has to move an entire truck by himself to get his first paycheck, and Eileen, who's Rigby's girlfriend at the time, brings Mordecai to the site so they can make up. Rigby then begins to argue with Mordecai, saying that Mordecai only uses him and treats him like trash.
Rigby, help me get a girlfriend. Let me borrow your time machine, Rigby. Rigby, I found a dumb sweater and I gotta return it. All you do is use me, man.
But I never asked you to do those things.
And the craziest thing about Mordecai saying this is if you watch Regular Show, you know that he's lying. Mordecai often asks favors from Rigby, and Rigby being a good friend often helps him out. But Mordecai being so self-centered thinks that it's the least Rigby can do, that he's entitled to this sort of treatment. Folks, this is what we call a toxic relationship. And not the good one where you fight and fuck a lot, the bad one where the one person takes advantage of the other. And when Rigby's girlfriend Aline brings Mordecai to Rigby and mentions how they're friends and they always support each other, this is also not true. The problem with this statement is Mordecai almost never supports Rigby when it's something important. All the way to season 7 finale, where Rigby is graduating and everyone is throwing him a party. In season 7, one of the major plot points was Rigby going back to school so he can graduate. This episode basically follows Rigby as he prepares to give a goddamn graduation day speech, and the rest of the park members preparing for Rigby's graduation day party. And throughout the episode, you can see everybody's excited except Mordecai. Everyone's all excited for Rigby, happy that he's graduating, except for Mordecai. This is one of the biggest days of your best friend's life, and you seem irritated, bothered, and don't even want to be there. So, throughout the episode, while they're all getting ready for the party, Mordecai is constantly blowing off Rigby. He acts like he doesn't want to help with Rigby's graduation party, and when Rigby reaches out to Mordecai multiple times asking for help for his graduation day speech, Mordecai tells Rigby that he needs to learn how to do stuff on his own, and blows him off. Even though Rigby has been self-sufficient this whole fucking season. And it's only when Rigby completely fails at giving a speech the first time around, embarrassing him in front of everybody, that Mordecai actually comes up to him and tells him why he's been acting this way. And when you hear his fucking reasoning, it really just shows you that Mordecai's an asshole.
It's hard to see you doing so great. I guess I always kind of liked that I was doing better than you.
Mordecai liked the fact that he was superior to Rigby, and when Rigby looked like he was going to do better or surpass Mordecai, Mordecai couldn't handle it. Now, tell me, does that sound like a real friend? A real guy who wants the best for you? This is the type of person you guys need to stay away from. This is the type of homie that when you're successful, they're still trying to bring you down to their level. Rigby's graduation day should have nothing to do with Mordecai, but of course, with how self-centered he is, he made the whole day about him, their relationship, instead of him just being a friend. So yeah, that's why I think Mordecai is a bad friend, that he's manipulative, selfish, and very self-centered. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.